Chapter 5, Buried Alive. I was in a freshly dug grave. All that was missing was a body. I figured there would be a funeral tomorrow. Great. The sad family comes to the gravesite and I'm there to say hello. Can you go to jail for that? I was wedged into a corner, sitting on a canvas tarp that was bunched up around me. The tarp must have been the soft stuff I felt. I guess the graveyard guys had covered the hole after they dug it. They take the tarp off just before the service. I pulled at the tarp and noticed a plank of wood underneath. Hey, maybe I could lean the plank against the side of the grave and crawl out. I stood up and felt pain shoot through my leg. I sat down fast. After a couple of minutes, I tried to stand up again. I put some weight on my foot. I couldn't do it. I could do it, but just barely, so maybe I hadn't broken anything, but my foot sure hurt. I sat back down again and rubbed my ankle. I could smell the earth all around me, damp, musty, old. I knew it was full of worms and bugs and bones. I shuddered. I did not want to be here. This was too much Halloween. This was Halloween for real. I grabbed the plank and lifted it up. I put it against the side of the hole. Then I hopped over on my good foot and began to crawl up the plank. I'd wobbled a bit and fell to the side. Ow! Maybe I'd have to wait down here for help. But then I thought about the next day. All this dirt falling down on me, burying me alive. So I tried again. This time I went more slowly and watched my balance. I was almost out when I heard a noise. Voices. Was it Fatso? The ghoul? Simon? I couldn't really see over the top of the grave. I didn't know what to do. Should I make a run for it? But what about my foot? Would I be able to get that far? What if it was Fatso and he caught me? What if it was the ghoul out there waiting for me? I decided to stay in the grave. I slid back down the plank and knocked it to one side. Then I covered myself with the tarp. I figured I'd find out who it was first and then call for help. I sat there and listened. I could hear talking. And then I could hear something being dragged. Someone grunted. Someone swore. The guy didn't sound like Fatso. He sounded old, real old, like my dad. I was glad I'd stayed put. They were above me now. Are you sure about this? You changing your mind? The funeral is tomorrow. They'll find him right away, yeah. Maybe we should have tossed him in the lake. Then maybe no one would ever find him. I want them to find him. I want to teach them a lesson. The sooner the better. Hear what I'm saying? I hear you, said the first voice. Then he changed his tone. Poor Tony. Should have kept his mouth shut. Yeah, my heart's bleeding. Now dump him. I heard a couple of grunts. Then something big and heavy landed on me. I felt the breath go out of me. I almost made a sound, but I clamped my hand over my mouth. Tomorrow we know nothing. Hear what I'm saying? I hear you, boss. They moved away, but I sat there frozen. I don't know how long I waited. Too bad Simon wasn't around with his watch to tell me. Finally, I tried to shove the thing off of me. Then I crawled, wincing in pain, out from under the tarp. I didn't want to look at the thing, but I had to. It was a man. The man's eyes bugged out and his tongue rolled out of his mouth. I'd never seen a dead body before, but I was pretty sure I was seeing one now. I was pretty sure this was Tony. And I was really sure I was going to be sick.